Relationships are one of the most valuable parts of our lives. A partner, friend, or family member can make us happy, strengthen us, and reinforce our sense of security. However, sometimes these bonds turn unhealthy. Toxic relationships often go unnoticed at first and can affect a person's emotional, mental, and even physical health. These types of relationships may seem normal from the outside, but the person living them constantly experiences pressure, guilt, or feelings of inadequacy. So what makes a relationship toxic, and how can we recognize it? Toxic relationships are usually built on control, manipulation, and dependency. When the other person constantly tries to influence your behavior, thoughts, and emotions, it makes the relationship unhealthy. For example, a partner who constantly criticizes, belittles, or devalues what you do can gradually damage your self-esteem. At first, it may be hard to notice this because feelings of love and attachment can normalize such behaviors. The human brain can interpret negative behavior from a loved one as important or related to love. Another sign is emotional ups and downs. In toxic relationships, a small word or action can cause extreme joy or deep sadness. Being dependent on a partner's approval, constantly being in a state of expectation, makes a person measure their self-worth solely by the partner's actions. Over time, this leads to mental fatigue and chronic stress. Relationship dependency traps the individual and often combines with feelings of guilt, inadequacy, and helplessness. Manipulation is one of the most obvious features of toxic relationships. A partner may prioritize their own needs while ignoring your feelings and boundaries. Psychological manipulation, known as gaslighting, can make a person lose trust in their own perception and memory. Statements like, "You remember it wrong," or "feeling this way is not normal," can make the person question their own emotions. Over time, this weakens the individual's perception of reality and makes it difficult to make confident decisions. Another aspect of toxic relationships is social isolation. Toxic partners may encourage distancing from friends, family, or support systems. This causes the person to feel alone and lose independent thinking skills. As a result, the individual becomes increasingly dependent on their partner, often neglecting their own needs and putting the partner's happiness before their own. Physical symptoms are also common. Individuals under constant stress often experience headaches, digestive issues, sleep problems, and chronic fatigue. These effects show that toxic relationships negatively impact not only mental, but also physical health. People unconsciously live in a constant state of alarm, placing a heavy load on the immune system and hormonal balance. Recognizing a toxic relationship is possible, though often difficult. Constantly feeling guilty, depending on a partner's approval, being unable to maintain boundaries, experiencing emotional swings, and distancing from friends are important warning signs. When these signs come together, it is crucial to take action for your own health and happiness. Remember, a relationship should be loving and supportive. If it constantly causes stress, anxiety, and unhappiness, it is essential to recognize it and take necessary steps. The signs we discussed in this video are just a starting point. Every individual's experience may differ, but these signs are commonly seen in toxic relationships. Now I ask you, have you ever been in such a relationship, or do you know someone who has experienced this? Share your thoughts in the comments and help spread this information to others. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is free and helps you access more information about healthy relationships. To understand the psychology of toxic relationships, it is important to look not only at the partner's behavior, but also at our own emotions and reactions. In these relationships, individuals try to please the partner by pushing their own limits. Ignoring personal needs creates imbalance in the relationship and leads to fatigue and disappointment in the long run. Therefore, awareness is the most important first step in toxic relationships. Emotional manipulation and control are the fundamental building blocks of toxic relationships. When a partner constantly tries to influence you, the individual starts questioning their own decisions. This negatively affects both self-confidence and self-worth. For example, constant criticism or belittling by the partner reduces self-esteem and creates dependency. This psychological pressure often progresses unnoticed, making it difficult for the person to leave the relationship. Another common feature of toxic relationships is emotional ups and downs. A small incident can cause extreme happiness or deep sadness. The partner's approval determines the person's confidence and happiness. This causes the individual to measure their self-worth by the partner's actions, and over time it leads to psychological fatigue. Emotional dependency makes a person lose their personal boundaries. Gaslighting, or psychological manipulation, is frequently seen in toxic relationships. A partner can make the individual doubt their own perception and memory. Phrases like, "It's silly to feel that way," or "you remember it wrong," make the person lose trust in their own feelings. This makes it difficult for the individual to make decisions and evaluate reality. Social isolation is another aspect of toxic relationships. The partner may encourage distancing from friends and family. This causes the individual to lose independent thinking skills and become more dependent on the partner. Consequently, the person becomes emotionally and socially isolated, making it harder to leave the relationship. The physical effects of toxic relationships cannot be ignored. Living under constant stress can cause headaches, sleep disturbances, digestive problems, and chronic fatigue. Toxic relationships, therefore, negatively affect both mental and overall health. So how can one manage such a relationship? Awareness is crucial. Observe situations where you constantly feel guilty, depend on the partner's approval, or cannot protect your boundaries. When these signs come together, it is essential to take action for your own health and happiness. Seeking support, talking to trusted people, or getting professional help are the first and most important steps. Ending a toxic relationship is not easy, but it is necessary for a healthy life. It is possible to distance yourself while respecting your own needs, maintaining boundaries, and building safe support systems. Remember, healthy relationships should be supportive and empowering. They should not cause constant stress, anxiety, or unhappiness. Now I invite you again. Have you encountered toxic relationships in your life or around you? Share your experiences in the comments to guide others. If you want to see more psychology content like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Subscribing is free, but it helps us reach more people and raise awareness about healthy relationships.